Hello and welcome to Upload,
a podcast by those who upload for those who want to.
or who already do.
And anyone else for that matter.
My name is Lionheart and I've been creating content for over a decade.
And my name's Midgeman and I've been trying to create content for almost a decade.
Together with some of our friends and fellow content creators, we're going to be exploring the great big world of content creation.
We'll be looking into the serious topics that face content creators today.
Because if someone said that to me like in person, or said that kind of stuff to me, you know, IRL, I wouldn't take it. So why would I take it like online? Why would I hide aspects of sort of my identity?
As well as some less serious topics.
I've been blindsided by the fact that one of your old live streams is called Suck My Missile for like the last
Sorry,
10
what?
minutes.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Upload.
I was like, I couldn't find the tab where all the script was.
Where are my words? Help!
Hello and welcome to Upload, the content creation podcast. We're leaving that in. We're leaving that beginning in for those who upload, those who want to, and everyone in between. My name is Midgeman.
And I'm Lionheart.
And before we get into today's episode, we forgot how to be content creators. No, before we get into today's episode, remember to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you need to do. Turn on those auto downloaders so you get, you know, those updates when we're putting up an episode on any platform that you're listening from. And also remember, you can reach out to the podcast by getting in touch over our email, hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk, or in the comments section of our YouTube. Right, this week, I just got back from TwitchCon.
Yeah, you survived.
I survived, unlike a lot of people, because apparently a lot of people get sick.
Yeah, standard con flu and death.
Yeah, there's rumors of food poisoning and norovirus that have been going around. That's going to be dating this episode if you're in the content creation space.
It's not a convention event without at least a few. I've literally just started rewatching Game of Thrones, and when that was the first episode. It's not a true Dothraki wedding without at least a few deaths. It's not a true con without a few food poisoning events.
I went to TwitchCon. Hang on, I don't know if I can show off the dinosaur that's on the back.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah. But
I bought socks at the last one I went to.
Did you? I bought this hoodie. I bought another hoodie, which I will wear for the next episode. Because I'm an affiliate, they gave me some purple sunglasses.
Free swag is always good.
And they've got like Twitch on the side, which is that, you know, it's cheap.
Cheap and cheerful, but it's nice to get free stuff. It's nice to get free stuff.
And then I got a little memorial badge. I got some other things. I hung out with Hooded Horse as well. I got one of these nice. I got a second one of these that I haven't touched. If you want one, I bought one back. Unless, you know, Anthony watches this and just sends you one. These are Yetis, and I was like, I don't know if this is for hot or cold. I don't know if it's a hard cold, like.
Probably
or if it's a both one.
Right? Yeah,
but it's just like I was like,
right?
yeah, possibly, but it was also like, don't put this in the microwave; it will die.
Oh, because you'll like take off the coating and stuff.
We have a number one fan joining us today. I gave Dan's wife, who loves the podcast, a way to look into the audience because I wanted this as a sly test. I didn't even let them know this, but one of the things that we might do down the line when we monetize this a little bit more is offer some people to watch the recording of these. Yeah, watch the recordings.
Watch
live.
the carnage live.
Yes.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
Oh, yeah. The chaos that ensues is insane. But yeah, I thought today we'd talk about conventions, going to conventions, doing the meetups, all that kind of thing. I also just wanted to gush about certain things. Like I was very kindly by Lurkit and Once Human invited to a party on the Saturday night.
Con parties are good.
I felt way out of place at this one though. It's like you know it's like one of those, oh no, they just handed me champagne on arrival, oh no, this is slightly out of place.
And then inside you're going, oh yeah.
Both yes and no, but it was at this place called Euromast in Rotterdam, which is basically think Spinnaker Tower.
Okay, yeah.
The top of it, I've got a video. So it's a big sort of tower overlooking Rotterdam, 360 view. Awesome. But above it, there is like a viewing elevator that you can go into and sit down, and it gives you like a 360 as you go up, and it's like 185 meters in the air, which was so nice. But yeah, I want to say thank you to Lurkit. Met some cool people. I briefly met Thor, as in Pirate Software, which was really cool. I met future podcast guests. I got to hang out with Hannah Rutherford Lamardia for a good 3 hours chatting all sorts of stuff on the Sunday. The biggest thing I wanted to actually nag on to with the podcast more than anything is this is the first convention I've been to since 2019 that was for me, that I haven't worked in some capacity. First one as a air quotes content creator, being on content creator lists rather than staff. I have completely forgotten how to network. All of the social anxiety and random going up to people and introducing myself, all gone, because normally I convey it with, hi, I work on the community, or hi, I'm doing production, you're coming here to do this, or we're here doing a job task. It becomes, I'm here to make friends.
It's kind of twofold as well, because I think one, what we do, as we've said before, is a very isolating, often lonely job. Yeah, okay, you might work with a team and have editors and stuff, but usually it's not in person. It's over video call or, just messaging on Discord or whatever. I was literally saying to somebody the other day that was kind of talking to me about what I do, and I was like, sometimes I just pop down to the shop for 15-20 minutes just to go out for the day a little bit, and just I need to go out and touch grass quite I just need to be outside a little bit.
Hilariously, Twitch brought fake grass into the convention so you could touch grass.
I think it's that's in part of it, it's the nature of it, but at the same time, networking is so important when early on, just crack on, have fun, just decide what you're doing. But as you grow as a creator, it is a very important aspect of it. Not to say that you can't be successful if you never network, and quite often you'll find if you get to a certain point, people will start coming to you, and then you don't need to. But networking is a fun social aspect of it, because you get to essentially meet your peers and your other, you get to finally talk shop, which is why we started doing this a bit, because we wanted to talk shop more often rather than in the 1 or 2 interactions that we'd have every month or so or something like that, or just catching each other in each other's Twitch chat and be like, oh yeah, let's quickly talk about this thing. You don't get to do that. And if you just go to one creator convention a year or something like that that's focused within that space, be it TwitchCon or Games Festival or something like that, I find that everyone's of the same mindset though. Everyone wants to talk shop, but also everyone does not want to. It's one of those moments you're like, for once, let's just chill and be ourselves, without being live or on camera or whatever. But also, have you heard about this new feature? Or I had this happen to me, or I'm working with this thing next. And I feel like every creative roughly has that spaghetti brain explosion of I need to get all of this out, but also let's not talk about any of this, but let's talk about all of it, please. Separate part, that being the duality of it, of being lonely, but also networking being great and being actually a core part of being a creator once you kind of steadily start gaining traction and growth, is that everyone has suffered a major social setback with COVID recently. We've seen a lot of conventions, events not come back. So a lot of them haven't survived COVID, especially in the gaming side. Developers, publishers have pivoted away from doing in-person press events or announcements, stuff that they would typically do big, grand, fancy events for, fly people around the world or host them in different locations or at their studios. They do them digitally, which I can understand for one, obviously through the pandemic, that's how they had to do it. And I understand that obviously most of them are continuing to do that post-pandemic because of cost. It's way cheaper. Although, to be honest, if I have to use Parsec again for another event and have the lag on that, I'm just so over it. I appreciate the support the teams put in for it. I understand why they do it, but I'm genuinely please let me, I want to go old fashioned, let me come to the studio and plug in a USB or an SSD external hard drive and just save my recordings to that at the preview, damn it. That's something I truly miss from pre-pandemic times, because I don't think those events would have gone away if the pandemic hadn't hit. There wouldn't have been this big shift. It would have eventually gone that way over the next maybe 10 years or so, slowly. I don't think it would have become as prominent. I genuinely miss, getting those event invites to go, and it's a social aspect more than anything else. But also, I really value, I don't know if it's because of old school about it, I really value the in-person meeting. And even though now you can be let's do a video call, I'd rather sit down and meet someone and physically be in the same space for some things. Maybe if you're working with a new company or a new developer, or you're trying things out and you want to get a better understanding of what's going on, that has so much value. And I really, truly miss that. But yeah, I think everyone is going to be struggling a little bit with social anxiety and stuff. Even the most confident people are going to be a little bit I forgot how to social, because we haven't really done this.
It really dawned on me more at this Lurkit party because I went there because I know the community manager of Lurkit. It's someone I work with at Paradox. They didn't, they have multiple jobs because everyone has to in this economy. He's actually the guy who handles all the Steam moderation at Paradox. So he's got insane props to them, and I wading into the Steam comment section is for all of the games that Paradox owns. It's a wild job.
He manages to come out of it as well. Damn, yeah.
It was like one of those things of, you were the only person I knew directly. There were, like, for example, the Ogscast turned up, but the oh, hello, now my Elgato's gone. Sorry, we had
did you upset the cable placement gods?
I must have. Yeah, so like I know some of the Ogscast because I've met them through other conventions and stuff, but it was none of the ones that I've met directly, and it was like I can't introduce myself to all of you as a group because it's like the 5 of you that I know are not here, and it's like, hi, I know this person. We have that. I was introduced to Thor from Pirate Software, and I was just like, hi, and then he was flooded by other people. We said, I just kind of gave him that look of thanks.
Like, there's value in all the conversations to be had, but those are the really valuable ones to have because your name gets passed around and, you get on the right lists and stuff like that you want to be. And
so Hooded Horse, thank you as well, invited me to a breakfast on the Sunday morning, which, back to the I'm going to be jumpy today.
So much. It's all good. Jumping
but
all
the
over
Hooded
place.
Horse breakfast was great. I got to meet Havoc in person. I met Havoc's wife briefly, not realizing who that was as well.
Oh, she came over as well. Nice.
Yeah, it was
sweet. Like a full, yeah. Nice.
And then the other Hooded Horse people there, we had Aspec and Aspec's wife, who I've also met before.
Also, I feel really worked with them both. Yeah,
I feel really guilty because I didn't say hi to Nikki properly, and I was like, we have met before, and I have been kind of ignoring you, but I'm like. It's just so much going on. I ended up then walking around with Hannah from that to the convention till about she had a meeting at 1:30 again with weirdly people that I knew. It was like one of those things of connection to connection of circle of people. And there was a really weird case of it, which I'll get onto in a bit.
I love that though, when you're like, how do you, I'm like, I'm the 4th connection to the thing, but like, oh, so you did that thing with the thing.
Okay, no, I've got to break it now. So with Hannah, I was walking around. She gets approached all the time because also she's a Twitch ambassador, but also she's like really involved with charities, which is the main focus of what we're going to talk about when she comes onto the podcast. She's a charity consultant. If you haven't seen Lamardia, definitely go check her out. Obviously, there's a lot of charities at TwitchCon trying to do outreach, trying to do influencer relations, that kind of thing. So we're talking to some of the charities, and I'm talking to someone from the Blue Cross. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I actually haven't done much charity work myself. I have done in the past, but it's been some years. However, I'm secondhand. I'm talking about Foxy, who's there but not at the convention with me right now. I'm saying, but my editor, she used to Twitch stream, heavily involved with charity and fundraising. She's raised so much, like she's raised like 5K, I think, for charities. And like, yeah, Foxy actually smashed charity work. And I was just talking to this guy, and then later I'm walking around with Fox and we walk past them again, and Fox's other half points them out and goes, I was like, you're not going to believe this. This is the person that, so obviously Fox knows them from working with charities, and they'd done that charity fundraising and was a big fundraiser for them. And it was like one of the things, and it was literally the last charity contact that she had that asked them.
Yeah.
She got asked by them to do some charity work, but she had to say, I'm sorry, I've given up streaming to come work with me. And then I'm like, you're not going to believe this. This is the person I was talking. And it was like one of those things of, well, that's a small world circle that just closed.
The conversation we had earlier.
Yeah. This is the gremlin I was talking about in regards to Fox. But or Fox wanted to meet some of her friends, which was an individual by Fern and Sketchy Dentist. Fern works for Guillotine, if you've heard of Guillotine. PR agency. She's one of the two on that. And I was like,
awesome.
It's Fern and Sketchy. And Fox just kind of slow turned to me and was like, how do you know them? But also Sketchy was like, you know me as well. I was like,
we did that campaign on that thing.
No, it was one of those things I've watched your streams before from previous campaigns and stuff. It's just like, it was one of those, everything's a small world with certain groups. Definitely one of those small world, certain groups thing.
I find that it's also when you meet an old contact that's now like jumped through 2 or 3 different companies, and you're like, I had that with years and years ago, I was affiliated with Green Man Gaming, and like the contact there, Alex, I want to say, I'm really sorry if I've said your name wrong. I'm terribly sorry. You're probably not watching the podcast, but you know, if you are, I got invited to a Jurassic World Evolution event up in Hyde Park for Frontier for Winter Wonderland. It was kind of, they had a light show projecting holographic like dinosaurs over the lake there, and it was also kind of a let's get all of the creator friends that we've worked with throughout the year, UK based, come together to London, enjoy Winter Wonderland with some of the team and the staff. Lots of fun, lovely to just go and have fun in Winter Wonderland and meet the team. But like as we were standing by the lake, waiting for everyone to get there, and I kind of introduced myself to someone to see what it was like. Is this Frontier? Because it was like, it wasn't like any signs up, and I think sometimes maybe it's just the kind of stereotype of sometimes a little bit socially awkward gamers and stuff like that. But as everyone was like huddled together, and I was like, "Are you guys Frontier?" And then suddenly it was like, "Yeah." We were like, "Oh right, it's all cool." Yeah, we're like, "Yeah." There was like Holly Bennett and stuff because she was influence manager. And
at the Loki party, right at the end, like last person I met was an influencer manager, I think with Fireshine Games. And they follow me and I follow them, and I just saw who the mutual like thing was. Just like, oh, it's Holly Bennett. I was like, how do you know Holly? And, oh yeah, we've done some Final Fantasy things. And I was like, oh, I'm working with them on their D&D thing right now.
I feel like Holly's such kind of like a prolific member of the community. Like, I feel like you could definitely do one of those web things of like everyone knows Holly in some capacity because of where she's worked and all the different projects she's done, been involved with. But very, very briefly before I totally derail, it's going to be one of those, if you haven't figured out by now, guys, we're 20 minutes in, if you haven't figured out, it's going to be one of those wiggly wobbly ones.
Welcome to the ADHD of trying to explain conventions and connections.
Exactly. There's a million stories that now we're like, yay, we get to tell. But yes, standing by the side of the lake, and then suddenly this guy taps me on the shoulder and goes, Lionheart. And I was like, hi. And he was like, Alex, Green Man Gaming. And I was like, oh, he was like, I work here now. You know, we did Chaos Gate stuff. And I was like, you're that Alex. Suddenly everything. And he was like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything because and I was like.
Also with those things, there's just an overwhelming amount of people. So like there's another guy that I was, again, in this charity huddle that I ended up in with for a little while. There's a streamer called Nico Hart. He does a lot on like controllers, and he actually did a panel on creative use of controllers in the industry and also using like games controllers for accessibility. So, but anyway, he walks over, he starts talking to Hannah. I was like, recognize you. Turns out I'd given him a handhold on the metro literally the day before. Because he almost fell over. And it was like one of those things of, oh yes, I saw you on the metro. Hello, officially meeting.
And some people might be like, this just sounds like general like work. The reason why we get so excited is because we don't get to meet our peers. We don't get to meet up with everyone regularly at all. Sometimes it can be years. Some like people that I would say like are kind of close friends, close peers that I haven't seen in like 4 or 5 years. And not just because of the pandemic, just because we haven't been going to the same thing. We haven't been invited to the same things. People have moved into different spheres and orbits and changed job paths or whatever. And we just haven't had that meal. But I guarantee that when we do, it'll just be like that moment of like, you know, you're seeing an old friend again. And it doesn't take long to kind of all click up again. I don't know, some people like it seems like it's almost over the top, but it's like, well, it is, but also that's how genuinely excited we get. You know, even if you've got that social anxiety, when you meet that one other little niche or group, or if you don't have the social anxiety, when you meet the wider collection of people that you've been looking forward to meet or network with or catch up with, you're like, it's been like 2 years, right, since that last event or that thing. It's amazing how quickly you kind of pick up the rapport again, basically.
Yeah. Oh, no, totally. And it's one of those things of why I'm slightly kicking myself that, unfortunately as well, I lost quite a bit of time at this event because my airline changed my flight. So I had to leave on the Sunday a little bit early to go have a row with the airline. So I lost half a day there. The morning was really calm, and then was overwhelming amount of people for the rest of it. So it was like, oh, yeah, that's really hard to find people to just talk to.
I've heard a lot of chat about people saying getting the train to Rotterdam versus flying.
I should have just drove. I live in Kent.
Oh yeah, you can swim.
Swim. Well, funny enough, you used to be able to get a hovercraft from near me over there. Like,
that'd be insane. God, I actually remember.
That would be really cool. They don't run those anymore. Yeah, there used to be a little ferry dayliner as well over to Rotterdam, because where I am on the Kent coast is across the water from Rotterdam. So it's like, because I'm North Kent.
There's definitely opportunity to do upload on tour the rocky
Oh, we do road trip to
road trip to TwitchCon that goes horribly wrong in all aspects, I'm sure. But it's like, guys, it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive or whatever. It's pretty easy to do, right? Oh, you just watch us. You just Midgeman, where did we end up? We are somehow in Switzerland.
Yes.
Who's got a definitely not reliable van that we can use?
We just hire one. Like, just hire a very Actually, no. I do have a not reliable van we can use.
Because it's going to end up.
So my father for his rock band has a Mercedes Sprinter that breaks down all the time. Do we want to use? It's got a bed in the back.
I'm sorry, you can't just say my father for his rock band and then try and get away from that.
Yes. So my father is happily going into his retirement. He started a rock band using the parents of people I was in a rock band with, which is great. They've been going now for 11 years, I think. They've toured southern Spain. It's all rock covers. It's a band called Marvelous Mo and the Backline Ferrets.
Okay, it's even better because of the name. That's amazing.
And my father is Marvelous Mo. So we have a Mercedes Sprinter that breaks down all the time. It requires jump starting a lot. So the only conventions outside of this TwitchCon I've ever done are Paradox Cons. I've done 2 as press and 2 as staff, one of which being online. It's gone from doing small conventions and working conventions that were bigger to, oh my God, there's like 50,000 people in this building. I loved it. Again, I'm kicking myself that I didn't do more with it, but I'm also kind of glad that I took it chill. Oh God, it was expensive, but it made me start looking up Gamescom. What do you need to get creator ticket for Gamescom? And the requirements are really weird, by the way, for Gamescom.
Yeah.
You need either 300k subscribers on YouTube.
300k?
Yeah.
Okay.
250k on TikTok, or 300 concurrent viewers on Twitch. One of these numbers is not like the others.
Yeah, although 300 concurrent viewers is a pretty tough one to go for, to be fair. I mean, all of them are really tough to do, but
Lath pointed this out yesterday and he was like, guys, I've got something I need to ask you, because he wants to go to Gamescom. His YouTube channel's at 200k. Doesn't have a TikTok with a high enough following. But Parabellum, our new show, current like average concurrent viewers is about 500. And he's like, can I go as a Parabellum? And was like, we're not even affiliated yet. I don't know if they'll count it.
I mean, it doesn't say, if it only says the concurrents, that's the like.
Yeah, we've streamed 5 times and we've got streamed 4 times and we've got an average viewership of 500 right now. But it's making me go, hey, Lath, if you are going to, can multiple people go on the same account? Because it is a shared account.
You'd like to think that it'd be like, it's a 3-man team. We need 3 passes to reflect that.
And then you would basically say all the other peripheral things, probably to sweeten the pot. It's just like, yeah, like we have other YouTube channels. This is our only thing. This is all our other stuff. One of us works as like in PR or whatever. We could probably finagle it.
Those are like the highest thresholds I've ever heard of.
Yeah, they put them up, I think. I think they've put them up because of...
Is it because like that covers you for a ticket for the whole event, right?
I think so.
I've heard Gamescom is good, but it's queuing hell.
I've heard that, but I was also like one of those things of, I'd love to go, but I have just been set back by TwitchCon with a lot of money, because Rotterdam, lovely city, public transport, really cheap.
Hotels?
Hotel, bar, and all of those things.
I love it. Didn't even get to the hotel. Bar. Yeah, it's how it gets you.
And going to dinner with friends.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I mean, I don't drink, but the people I'm with would like a whiskey sour, so like, you know. But also like having to like extend my airport parking and stuff because of changed flight. And I mean, I'm going to get 200 back because of airline stuff. I've spent about £100 on Twitch merch because I was like, yes, please. I would like Twitch branded stuff to remember this by.
Oh, lovely. Oh.
It's a really nice quality hat. I think they sell this one online as well.
Okay, I might have to, because I genuinely,
because there's like
I've got a cap that I really like wearing, but it's from one of my old sponsors that might conflict with one of my new sponsors. Obviously I could wear it, but then I'm like, oh, if I want to take a picture and then if I end up sharing it, oh right, yeah, I probably shouldn't share that. Something like platform wise, that's fairly safe and neutral, and that actually looks pretty. I might genuinely have to go buy an overpriced hat, but I will be wearing it on streams, so I'm buying it with the company card. Yeah,
no, I put it all on my credit card, but I will be paying some of that back with my company account.
It's company uniform now.
Well, it counts as props and costume. That's how you put it down as a creative company.
I mean, like some people will be saying like, oh yeah, all these, can you not offset that with claiming expense? You can, but you still have to spend, you still have to have that money and then be able to spend it in the first place. Actually, that'd be kind of, for creators that are willing to talk about it, that'd be interesting to know how much, like some creators kind of, I was saying it before we started talking, like at the moment, I'm not quite living paycheck to paycheck, but because, you know, we bought a new house 2 years ago and stuff happened with that meant that we had to basically use all our life savings to make it happen, everything, because stuff fell through at the last minute and everything. So we've been slowly but surely trying to build up our savings again, which means putting the vast majority of anything we get into, to, you know, trying to clear as much of the mortgage as we can and also into savings. And also, funnily enough, having 2 kids, weirdly, is oddly expensive. Who knew? Yeah, I'd be interested to actually, we have like for creators that are happy to talk about that we have on here, to be like, how much do you reinvest into what you're doing? And also, you know, obviously there's, you know, we all have better months than others at times. Roughly, you know, are you able to see a trajectory where it's going up and, you know, your savings are sitting happy and pretty, or do you find that even still with fairly large amounts of success, you're still to a degree living paycheck to paycheck? Because we actually, you were there in chat the other day on my Twitch with someone kind of said, oh, I want to get started because I want to drop my 9 to 5. We kind of both like jumped on this person in chat to sort of say that's a fine goal to have. And it's fine to, you know, have that goal for what you want to do with content creation. But I think that's because a lot of people think that when you want to do like a career shift and go into something else, it's okay, maybe I'll have a month or two where it'll be a bit tough, but then I'll start earning in that one. It's like, you could literally spend years, maybe even decades doing this and barely break even, or even get to the point where you're still not making money from it because you're still grinding away. So which is why I think when we kind of reacted the way we did, we were like, fully supportive of you, you know, listen to the podcast. They had lots of questions and we were like, we've covered this in this episode, and it finally got me to make an upload podcast command on my chat, which is very good. Finally, if you're not happy with your current 9 to 5, look for an alternative that does make you happy. Maybe one that's maybe got a few flexible hours of an afternoon or evening, or, you know, 4 days a week instead of 5, if you can financially afford to still support yourself, your current bills, rent, whatever, mortgage, whatever, and then give you that extra little bit of time to be a bit more creative and start your creator content journey. Because immediately we're like, please don't say you've quit 9 to 5, because otherwise, you know, I could see the horror story of them coming back in, say, like 2 months time going, you know, I've lost my apartment, I've had to move back home, or I've got nowhere to live because I'm not making any money, I can't get a job anywhere else or whatever, no one's hiring because I left, I can't go back to my old place. Okay, that's potentially the extreme end of it, but like that, it should be the cautionary tale that comes firmly sticky noted onto the screen of thinking about, you have got to do it because you're passionate about having fun and creating content. You cannot go into this with the mindset of just off the cuff one day going, I'm going to make a hell of a lot of money streaming. If you're already a creator on another site with a massive following, yes, you can say that. Yes, you can. Because you will be able, even if you push the teeny tiniest 0.1% of your audience over, the conversion will happen if you're already well established somewhere else. But you cannot just wake up one day and go, you know what? I'm fed up of being a corporate office worker. I'm going to start streaming. I mean, great that you want to pursue a very creative outlet, but you will not earn money from that.
It's a big misnomer with just how, because everyone sees the top of the game and they're the people that you see, and you see that they are living luxury. Good for them. Great. They have grinded their way there. They've had success. The majority of people are me.
I'd love to be doing like, welcome to Upload Podcast at my Lionheart mega mansion. But actually, okay, I'm very happy with the home we have, but it's still a modest, detached 4-bed house. Okay, it's lovely, but it's not a mansion. You know, it's not crazy.
I would argue you are the level of success that everyone could aspire and strive to get to reasonably, because there's so much also luck that goes into the top.
There you go, guys. I am a reasonable achievement.
Yeah, you are a very reasonable achievement.
That's Mr. Reasonable Achievement to you, sir.
But
sorry,
for the most part,
my father.
for the most part, you're going to be like me. Like I am a perfect case of what Lionheart was just saying.
You still have a full head of hair, though.
I've got that good hair gene. I've been content creating for almost a decade. This is year 9. September 15th will be the official start of my 10th year, like 9 year, 10 years. So 10 years will be 2025 because it was 2015 that I kind of started this run. To this day, my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel, and probably Patreons back in the day, if I added up all the money, doesn't break even into a reasonable wage at all. If that, it's probably a year's reasonable salary over 9. My assets, my growth, my money has come from other sources, whether that working a part-time job back when I was at uni as well, or little influxes of cash, or doing external client work. That's where I have found success and money. And even then, I am someone who, at the moment, is, yes, saving, but also my expenditure right now is still probably greater than what my company can support for a long amount of time. I knew that right now I've dropped clients, but that's something I planned for. So I've got until like essentially next year before I'm like, sorry, Dan, you're fired. I've got to let you go. But it's one of those things of,
I don't know why I'm laughing. I just like, oh, poor Dan.
Even now my YouTube channel doesn't make money like the way that will be if I go into more client work or if I do some sponsor work. I am what you will expect. Like at the end of the day, it is not something as a venture that I would recommend anyone go and do as a job. Like I did it full time for a little while I was out of work, but that's because I was given the luxury comfort of once I finished uni, moving home, low expenditure. I was also trying to be an actor at the time. Great job concepts there to try and earn money as a human being, being an actor and a content creator. Boy, oh boy, was I getting a good paycheck back in the... This is all sarcasm for those who aren't British. It's not something that I would recommend you go and just quit for. Like I said, like Lionheart said as well, look for something flexible. Please, by all means, explore your passions. Get into content creation.
The biggest thing is people not starting. Like start, make the mistakes, fail, pick yourself back up again, reinvent yourself, because you'll learn so much. And I think it takes a lot of kind of self-analytical skill and insight to actually look within yourself and go, you know what, actually, I'm not an in front of the camera person, but I could use my knowledge as part of a team perhaps to support other creators. I know some people that have like become like managers almost for creators, and often when you hear that, you go, there's no value in that, they're just scamming you. It's like, people that have learned really insightful stuff, if I could tie up Lath and keep him in a little corner, or Spiff, if I could just have them here, I'd just turn to them before I did any bit, kind of be like, right, come on guys, what are we calling it? What's the thumbnail? What is the SEO going in on here? What's the hook? Come on. Yeah. Dance, monkeys, dance.
I'm so happy that I'm now working with Lath and Red Hawk on Parabellum.
You learn so much because some creators are really insightful into the...
Yeah, it's like they go, we know nothing about how to live stream stuff or do a production. That's all on you, Alex. And I'm like, cool. We launched channel memberships yesterday on YouTube for the first time because the channel's already monetized. It's already getting income coming in. For me, it was like, oh, this is what that feels like. Okay.
Oh, sorry, it's meant to be green.
But then the memberships come in and I was like, oh, cool. Like 1 or 2. I was like, oh, 18 by the end of that stream. Oh, okay. Because those two know when to push, how to push. They're both, it's a charismatic relationship on camera, but also what they've been doing with the VODs, what they've been doing with the editing, what they've done with the pre-prod in that regard has been very, very good. As much as we say you won't be able to quit your job, if you've got a really good concept, if you've got something that you've packaged well, if you've learned a lot before you've gone to...
If you've got that unique breakaway moment that can, like, because there are always the breakaways. You know, we're not saying that to crush your dreams. We're just saying we want to inspire you, but here's a massive, big old daily dose spoonful of realism that the vast majority of people will experience. If you don't...
Amazing. Come on the podcast.
GG. Amazing. Yeah, please do. Like, come and tell us your secrets.
I think it's because there's not enough voices warning people for the industry. And I think that's why we say it a lot.
Yeah, because vast majority of creators go, oh yeah, here's my stuff, you know, here's my mansion. What's that bit from like Thor?
Oh yeah. Behold my stuff.
Behold my stuff. TwitchCon though, yeah, we got that.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, that's the tangent we flew off on. Sweet. It is pricey, but it is, if you can afford to, it's definitely worth it. Like, I mean, I've only been to one TwitchCon. That was the first TwitchCon EU, which was Berlin, which was the 2019, before the pandemic. I was fortunate enough to be taken out to it by Creative Assembly and Sega, because they wanted some creators to stream on their booth. That's probably why I haven't gone to as many, because I know the costs, and I'm like, yes, I know it'd be beneficial. Yes, I'd love to see people, but also I don't really want to spend maybe like $2,000 over 3 days for, you know, if I've got to do flights, accommodation, all the food and drink. I'm going to splash out a little bit. You know, I'm going to see friends. I think they reached out to me and they were like, yeah, we're going to have a few creators there. We can do your flights. We can do your accommodation. So that was all really good. And actually, I would say as well, like from a networking perspective, that was really beneficial, just because I was in the same hotel as all the Sega and CA people. So I got to have a good chat, catch up with all the people that work on Total War, basically. And for me, where that's my like primary focus. Don't know if there was a mistake on the booking, but I got booked into a suite all to my lonesome. So I had like a little kitchenette, and I was like, I am not going to be. It was a hotel Louisa's Platz in Berlin. I'll probably butcher the. Lovely. Would recommend. I don't know how expensive it is, but the suites, I can say, were delightful.
I'll break down some of the costs because I've got some of them here. So before we even go, so for example, we also Googled this. The day after the convention, the room from my hotel dropped by about 120 euros.
Oh, God.
So it was 240 euros a night.
140 a night. Damn.
Yep. We did stay in a really decent hotel,
yeah.
I will say.
So the thing is, though, when you
and I booked through Twitch.
Sometimes it's nice to. So you were able to book the hotel directly through Twitch?
Yes, which was really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
As part of the package. So there were like 5 or 6 partnered ones. And also this was the one that they sent. So 2 of the hotels were the ones that they sent the people that they'd brought out to. And this was one of them. Pricegate got us in there a little bit, but it also meant it was quieter. But also it was 3 stops from Rotterdam Central Station, 3 stops from the convention. So dead center of everything. Really good restaurants outside. Like, I would do that hotel again because it's going to be at Rotterdam for the next 3 years.
Because some people always be like, surely you could pay for, you know, somewhere cheaper. There must be stuff out in the suburbs somewhere. Yes, but do not underestimate the value of being either within easy commute to the convention or like a hotel right next door to it. When I did EGX a couple of years ago, we stayed at the Novotel, which is right on the XL docks. It's literally, you walk across the courtyard bit, down lots of steps, and then walk back up. And I think that was like £200 a night. I could have got stayed at the Travel Lodge, like a couple of stops on the tube for like 100 or 120 or something like that. But it was the practicality of being right. I am 5 minutes away tops. It's often the after hours stuff with the networking, going for dinners or just, should we go to a bar and have some drinks and catch up? You don't want to be like, oh, I would, but I've got to leave in like 20 minutes because I need to take a 2-hour train that way. Like, you want to stay as long as you can. You've got to balance it. You've got to still rest up so you can be present and with it for the next day. But there are moments where you'll be like, right, tonight, you know, I'm going hard, but not, you know, on drinking and stuff like that. But I'm going to stay out late. I'm going to be like messing people around. Oh, I'm going to that party. I'm going to this meetup. I'm going to that hangout at Berlin. I remember that they had like there was one night where it was like the Twitch. They had like an after hours Twitch partner hangout. It wasn't like a party, but it was like chilled vibes and everyone could come together for a couple of hours. I remember going to that, and then there was like another sponsor party somewhere else, and you were just kind of going like, who's going to that one? Who's going to this one? And then like I was messaging some of the CA guys, like, oh, where are you guys? Oh, we're down at this bar. And you continue the networking that you've started during the day just with alcohol, essentially. Or not, you know, because don't, like, some people might be like, oh, it's just, there's going to be drinks and plenty of people indulge. There's no pressure to, you know, at least from my experience, you can have non-alcoholic beverages. You can have no beverages. You can, you know, do what you want. You can go for food. Typically, it just transitions from being in the convention center to being either part of the convention center where they've got an after hours little party, hangout, whatever. Then you'll be like, there's another hotel that's hosting another hangout party, whatever. And it all just kind of revolves around that. And you're just kind of circling around all these little separate events within the main event.
And then metro costs and all the travel costs in terms of trains and public transport around the Netherlands was fantastic. I think it cost me £60 for the entire weekend. That's to and from the airport as well, which was the majority of that cost.
Glorious European transportation.
Yeah, and this is with Amsterdam Central being closed as well because of the first ever strike since 1890.
What a perfect time for that, eh?
Absolutely fantastic public transport. Really, that was the cheapest part of the trip. Food and drinks was, and the planes were also pretty expensive. So I think all in all, it cost me about
Where did you fly from?
Heathrow in the end. But that's because of I was flying with Fox, who is a nervous flyer.
Right. Yeah, fair.
I could have gone from Gatwick, and technically I could have taken a London City flight straight to Amsterdam.
I reckon we could do a sponsor project, say, let's build the world's biggest trebuchet and we'll launch ourselves over next year. How far into the channel can we go?
I spent £130 on merch. That's an expense. And I spent probably about $300 on food. Just whether I picked up like a meal for 4 of us or 3 of us, or I picked up drinks or whatever. So about 1.6k in total with the flights and everything, which I feel like I could have definitely spent more. Oh boy, I could have. But at the same time, I also probably could have spent less. But either way, it is a big wad of cash. And if you don't have much, if you're a smaller content creator whose income is reliant on these conventions aren't going to be greatly accessible for you unless you can get brought out in some way. I kind of final etiquette sort of thing, and also just recommendations I think we should probably cover right at the end here if we're talking conventions and whatever. Obviously, there was a big sickness outbreak at TwitchCon. One of those things I highly recommend, even though we're post-pandemic and everything, if you're uncomfortable with that kind of thing, wear a mask. People did. I didn't wear a mask, but we did have hand sanitizer. One of the interesting things about TwitchCon as well was they were very restrictive on certain bags. So like you had to check certain bags. If it was an equipment bag, it had to be like fully like checked or had a bag pass. If not, Twitch actually handed out these little, I don't have one right here, but they were like, those, this is going to be really acutely British, but those little chavvy side bags? They did like a clear plastic version of one of them with Twitch branding on, which was really good because it just meant I put some battery packs in it and had that on me.
Can put some stuff in it, yeah.
Bring things that will make you comfortable at these events. Look at bag restrictions. I also highly recommend if there is a day where you can pick up the pass beforehand, do so. We did that for TwitchCon this year. We were so smart too.
The day I landed, I went and picked up my pass for Berlin because it was like you could go check in, grab your pass. I think you could even you couldn't go into the full show floor, but you could go into like the lobby area and have it was like they had one side open. You could look at it and then out you come.
People were queuing until about 3 p.m.
Pick up your pass the day before if they allow it. Also, I mean, if it's like Berlin, you got your swag bag then and stuff like that. You can either then use that as it was like a drawstring Twitch covered bag. You can wear that and use that as your thing that you're carrying your stuff in, or you can leave that back at the hotel safe and you don't have to worry about it. Set little achievable goals each day of the convention as well, I would say, to try and not feel overwhelmed with it all, and also like little bits you want to do. I'll cover the left side of the hall today, and tomorrow I'll do the right side, and then the third day, if there is one, I'll just fully network and catch up with everybody. Best laid plans. It's probably not going to go like that at all, but at least you tried to be organized with it.
And I will say as well, this year they did a big push with Twitch on accessibility. I'm going to shout out Radders right now, content creator, Twitch ambassador, also was the one that was hounding Twitch because in previous years there was no. So for example, this year there was actually ramps for people with wheelchairs to be able to get on stage and also into places.
And I think it's so important that because they're planning these now to stay in the same locations for a few years at a time, it's really good to see them start on a strong foot with accessibility and access for everyone.
There's still more they can do.
Oh, definitely. And it'll be great to see what they do improve for next year and I think as well, that's probably, surely logistically it's beneficial that they're, actually, we don't need this to be the European Twitch tour jumping around all the different capitals or major cities every single year. Let's find a base for a few years, do it well there, get it perfected, because we can still take everything we've learned from this and transplant that elsewhere. But also, we then give ourselves a few years to refine it, make it even better. The setup next year is going to be more straightforward, logistically, financially, and for everyone involved, right? Because everyone will be, as you've said, you're already like, right, we know the hotel we're going to go for. We know this, that we're not going to do this, we're going to do that. Also, I'd say top tip, give yourself a day or two extra either side of the convention.
That was the final thing we were going to say.
To recover.
Also, just to see Rotterdam.
Especially as a content creator, because the pressure's going to be there. Be like, right, convention, I've got to come back, I've got to start streaming. Screw it. Give yourself another day. It's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's actually not going to matter. Give yourself a day where you're then actually able to go,
oh, yeah. Some of the content creators I met, especially the European ones, I met a lot of Swedish content creators. They drove and they only had a Saturday ticket, and then they spent 2 days either side driving. And I was like,
genuinely, if we were going to road trip it, I'd be like, I would say the aim would be to arrive there at least the day before.
Yeah.
To be able to be like, right, let's settle, let's enjoy ourselves a little bit. And then also I'd be like, right, let's not even rush back on like the Monday if we want. Let's have a chill day in Rotterdam or even Airbnb in France. And we'll leave Rotterdam late Monday morning. We'll have a leisurely little drive through France, stop at, I don't know, do some battlefield tours or something like that.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Right, okay, this is the plan. We're gonna start.
My favourite school trip was doing the battlefields of Belgium and northern France.
Oh, did you do Ypres?
Well, yeah, my hometown is tied with Ypres as well.
Lovely,
so
lovely.
so we used to have in my local area, it's not Ypres, it's Yeeps. So we had a Yeeps tavern in town.
Like, again, that's a lovely thing of it. Take some time, do some other stuff as well, because also there's a lot to take in, and like so many ideas. I'm like, I know you guys have come back bursting full of ideas and things and projects and new stuff that you want to do. A way of almost not like resetting, but just actually absorbing it all and then actually doing it in a calm, collected manner. Not that largely I would say anything about content creation is in a calm, collected manner. It's all frantically fast paced, but it's good fun, isn't it? Yeah, we've touched on some events. We're gonna do events too and talk more about, I think, probably more in depth about some of the networking stuff and perhaps some industry folks and things that have come out of that. But I think this one was more about like the general feel and experience, especially as you say you weren't like working this event. It was to experience it purely as a creator, which is it's again, full duality. It's, Jekyll and Hyde almost of the two different. It's very different. You'll be like going into thinking, oh yeah, I've done one of these as staff. Is like, it's totally different as creator, and likewise the other way around. If you've ever been to a gaming event or broadly even MCM or something like that,
oh yeah, let us know your stories. Maybe
tell us something that you really enjoyed about a convention, something that a convention did right, and maybe even something like a convention got wrong. But if you've got any stories of potentially how they tried to make it right or tried to improve it, or if you just have your own thoughts on how some conventions can improve things specifically, like if you're like, oh, I wish more conventions did this specific thing, or this convention did that really well, let us know. We'd be happy to discuss it. hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk.
And we'll see you next time we upload. And now that looks like...
You know what? I think I know who this is.
You know who this is? Oh, okay. I think this is probably from your community by the looks of it. They've got a SteelSeries mouse mat by the looks of it. Or is that
SteelSeries? Oh, got another angle. Amazing. I love it. Multiple angles.
Ooh, also, purple trim on the chair. New. That is choice. I like this is a really confined space, and they've used a good shaped desk to use that.
I'm loving the L-shaped desk.
That's a decent Alienware rig.
Ooh,
I was going to say,
look at that angle.
Either that's like one of those really like sport racery NZXT cases, the back of a Corsair case, or I was going to go, or it's because the curvature is slightly.
The windows at an angle in there as well.
Yeah, it's one of those tilted Alienware ones.